Welcome to SLAP, the app to learn Spanish by Antanas Perez. Let's meet Fiona. Fiona lives in London. She has a lot of very international friends. She's very open to other cultures. And she has one dream. She wants to move to Barcelona. But moving to Barcelona has a huge requirements. You need to be able to speak the language. And unfortunately, she doesn't know how to speak Spanish. So what she thought about this is she said she was going to learn it. So she downloaded a lot of apps, like hundreds of them, start learning, start going through the courses, and she kept bumping into the same problem, was that she kept forgetting all the words that she was learning. So she was thinking, if only there was an app that I could learn Spanish vocabulary, where I could find all the words in Spanish I need, save them, and study them. This is where we start working together. We start developing an app that could help Fiona learn Spanish and go to Barcelona. We start by looking at similar apps that allow to learn vocabulary. So apps like Vocabulary Builder, Memrise, Quizlet, Lexline. So we download them and we went through all the details to start to understand the features, like the user flows. Then we also interviewed a few people, like friends of Fiona, that had similar needs, because we really wanted to understand their needs, how they learn languages, and what bits they were finding like hard to do. From there, we managed to do some task flows and user journey, very detailed, explaining how people learn, what do they do, what are the different tasks, and what an app should do in order to realize to fulfill those different tasks. From there, we did a few prototypes. A few versions. So this is the first version that was hand wrote, and after finishing it, we went through a first iteration, like an internal iteration, where we check how it was doing, and we found some major flaws. So like the core major flaw was like not all the core features were there. So we're actually, with this first version, we were not fulfilling what Fiona was needing. The second issue, like big issue, was that the onboarding flow was too long. Like people will get bored and leave, and there was no way of skipping. And the final major issue was that there was no navigation bar. Like the navigation was very poor. It was very hard to move around. So we did a second version. This version was digitized, and that version solved those needs and many others, like smaller, that we found. So for example, you can see there's now a navigation, and it was clear to use. We took this version and we showed it to the same people we interviewed on the first stage, so we could make sure that their needs were fulfilled by this app. So we tested direct tasks, so stuff like, how do you create your own account? Two scenarios, like let's say you found a new word and you want to find it and save it, and then you want to study it later. And out of this user testing, we found other issues. So issues like the aim of the app was not clear. So the users were going there and they were not understanding what they had to do. They were asking too many questions about the purpose of it. So like that was a major issue. Then the sign-up flow was not perfect if you were going to just use email. So the feedback of some people was, I hate Facebook and Google, I just want to put my email, and you couldn't do it. And the last core issue or main issue was that we still had some problems with the navigation. So for example, in this screen, after doing a test, you see that the word is not right and you didn't know what to do next. So we fixed this in a third version. So we changed the onboarding to something clear. So welcome to SLAP, the app to learn Spanish vocabulary, and then you would go through an onboarding flow that would tell you everything, like what was the point of the app. The second core issue, we fixed it by changing the sign-up flow. So we had the email bit, and then we did changes across the app around navigation. So now you know that you have to go up, like next or back. There are still things that we want to improve in the further version. So there are core features that will be very useful. So we want to add a screen where we can see the score of the exercises. We want to be able to save words in categories, and there are still some minor usability issues that you can use it, but it's not ideal. So for example, when you save a word, it's not clear that the word is saved, so we did like a like a message saying like the word has been saved. And I'm sure there will be other things to add later after getting feedback from users. So it was a very interesting experience. I really enjoyed the whole process. So just building something real is enjoyable. We learned like I learned the importance of the brief. Reading it properly and understanding all the details is really important. But also on the other side like when a brief is created, it's important to make sure it's clear, because that's what directs the designers in that direction. And then I also saw the impact of feedback and iterations with customers. You always read everywhere that it's important, but like it was clear like 2-3 iterations later the app is in another level when it was all thanks to feedback. Then things that still need to be learned is like understanding when to use a digital version, when to use an analog version. There was too much back and forth, and I still don't know at what stage one has to move to the digital version. And I think, yeah, with experience, I will know what is the right point. So this was the whole journey to build an app, and just so you know, Fiona used the app and she managed to move to Barcelona. So yeah, we